Hello, welcome to UMBC News. My name is Mojisa Deshigan.
And my name is Michael Cox.
And tonight we'll have a special segment focusing on female genital mutilation in northwestern Nigeria. FGM is a traditional practice in which the external genitalia of a young woman is partially or completely removed.
FGM is primarily practiced on females as young as 4 and beyond. We have our traveling news anchor, Ikaji in northwestern Nigeria, interviewing Nurse Tripet and Hannah, a female genital mutilation victim. We'll turn it over to Ikaji.
Hello guys, this evening I'll be here with Nurse Tripet and Hannah, a 7-year-old victim of female genital mutilation. How are you guys this evening?
I'm well.
Hi, I'm okay. Okay, so we've been told about the overview of female genital mutilation. Could you possibly give us some insight on the procedure and why it's done?
Yes. So female genital mutilation, also known as FGM, is a destructive traditional practice in which the external genitalia or genitals of a young woman are partially or completely removed. And there are various types of procedures: a partial clitorectomy, to the full excision of the clitoris, labia minora and majora, followed by infibulation, which is stitching of the vulva, leaving a small opening for the urine and menstrual blood. But these are only a few examples.
Interesting. So Hannah, could you tell us the reasons as for why you got this procedure done?
There's a lot of different reasons on why this happens, but the reason for me was because of my dad. He said I had to get it done in order to become a woman, and it would prevent me from committing adultery when I become an adult. It should also prepare me for childbirth. It is seen as a coming of age practice that happens all over Nigeria. When it's performed, I just remember screaming because there was no anesthetic and it hurt so bad. We performed this in my aunt's basement. I continued to bleed a lot after the procedure and eventually got an infection.
Wow, Hannah, I'm so sorry you had to endure this. Nurse Tripet, why do you continue to do this procedure even though victims clearly feel this way?
Well, these are patients, not victims. And this procedure is something that we've practiced for years. I don't even see a reason for any change. It's to protect these girls from promiscuity and adultery, and to make sure these girls are not led astray. The procedure reduces their sex drive and ultimately protects them.
I'm here to educate you on the sociological framework of FGM. Some feminists believe that the sociological framework used to analyze FGM is a feminist theory. The feminist theory examines the social, economic, and political position of women compared to men and shows what changes need to be brought out to remedy the inequalities between both genders. Now, the feminist views the world as a gendered, and because of this, there are power dynamics that play into patriarchal societies. The power dynamics seen in these societies from all over the world, and most of these societies use power to control a woman's desires in life and their bodies. Now, from a Western feminist perspective, it appears to be self-evident that this practice is a violation of women's rights. Thank you, Nurse Tripet and Hannah, for your time today, and I will turn it back to you.
Thank you, Ikaji. We would like to explain the statistical data on FGM. When questioned about female circumcision, up to 93.6% of mothers knew about FC, but only 10.4% knew of the health complications that FGM causes. Fathers have the final say in whether their daughters are to get this procedure done or not. This may be due to increasing nuclear family settings where grandparents have little influence, as well as the dominant nature of the men in the families in this area.
While there are many different viewpoints regarding the practice of FGM, some recommendations we have regarding policy changes are education, better surgical circumstances, and the possibility of outlawing FGM altogether. Unfortunately, if FGM is outlawed altogether, that does not necessarily mean that the entire practice stops. But through educating these women that partake in this practice, we can make them aware of the health implications that take place when FGM is performed. If these women do partake in the practice, better centers and equipment should be used. Through education, better working conditions, and policy changes that try to outlaw FGM, we can attempt to stop the oppression of women.
So, thank you everyone for tuning into UMBC News segment on FGM. We hope you guys enjoyed, the information that we've given here tonight. Have a good night.